This is In the Parks and Beyond, the podcast where we dive deep into the magical world of Disney, explore the thrills of Universal, and venture beyond the parks. Join us for insider tips, expert insights, and world-class recommendations on the best rides, shows, and hidden gems. We'll take you on culinary journeys with top food picks and share exciting adventures from destinations around the world. So, pull your lap bars down and head into the parks with us as we embark on this roller coaster we call life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Parks and Beyond. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Josh, and in this episode we are going to be talking about extinct attractions and what replaced them. I'm going to go first today, and we're going to talk about the Great Movie Ride. Jerry, how do you feel about that? How do we feel about that being replaced by Mickey's Runaway Railway?
Still hurts my soul every day.
Yeah, I would say me too. That was a huge ride for my family. My grandfather absolutely loved it. I think every trip was like, we rode it multiple times. So
yes.
it really hurt when Disney was like, we're going to replace it.
I can agree more. That is, so, like, don't get me wrong. Mickey's Runaway Railway it's a fun, cute ride, but it could have been placed elsewhere, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
Great Movie Ride was a staple. That was a staple of a ride.
And I get that maybe they didn't want to pay for the rights anymore for the movies. They didn't want to pay Turner,
sure.
Whatever. But they could have updated it. They could have updated it. They could have added new scenes. Like, for what we got, does not compare to what we had.
Nope, absolutely. Like you just said, like updating it, change it to Disney movies. You know, like there you go. There you go.
Well, Disney owns Fox now, so you could have added Fox movies in there. You could have added Marvel movies in there.
Could have done it.
Without affecting like the original aspect of it.
Yes.
Like, you could have cut the classic scenes and replaced those scenes that needed love. Like, it could have been ever changed because movies are always evolving, so it could have been always an evolving ride.
Absolutely.
Personally, I don't think that Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway belongs in Hollywood Studios.
It's a fair assessment there.
I think that would have done better in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, because like I get why they did it with Hollywood, because I think they were trying to tie the Disney aspect into Hollywood Studios.
Well, that was a turning point for Hollywood Studios where it completely flipped from actually being about studios and being in Hollywood to what it is now.
If you're gonna add, Mickey and Minnie into the parks, why keep the theming of the Chinese theater and just throw a new ride into it? Like, you didn't, like that. To me, that's part of my argument too, because like you had the Great Movie Ride that was set inside there, which, as we all know, is based off of Hollywood, which Hollywood has.
Mm-hmm. Which I got to see.
I've been there too myself.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very. I wouldn't say must see, but like it's it's a cool thing to go do. Take a little tour of it. But no, I couldn't agree. I think it could have done better in like Magic Kingdom, or no, Magic Kingdom I think is the only place.
I think that's the only place it belongs.
Yep. No, I agree. I'm still hurt by it, because I still remember the first time I ever went on Great Movie Ride, and what got me like hooked on it was the shootout scene.
Yes. I was always, as a little kid, I was afraid of that, but as I got older, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!"
So cool. After I got off of that ride, I rode it I think 2 more times in a row after that, because it just hooked me.
I love that we had 2 different tracks per se. Like, you could go to the different scenes, which I thought was pretty cool, and I like that it had the live cast member actor.
I was gonna say that, and they all put like their everything into it too. Like, I never got one bad performance when I went on that ride. Like, it was so fun.
I mean, it's almost like I never got to experience this, but seeing the videos of an actual narrator with Living with the Land, the actual cast.
Oh, yes.
The things like, I wish that they still did things like that, because to me that just like really ties the theming and the Disney magic together.
Yep, I agree. Because again, cast members is what makes the magic.
If you replaced every cast member at Walt Disney World with a Six Flags employee, I probably wouldn't go to Disney, because it wouldn't be the same feeling. No, I'm sorry to my Six Flags employees, but I'm just like, if you replaced every single cast member with a 15-year-old.
So the running joke I've always had was that, because like I always put like Disney cast members as like the standard, right?
Yeah.
So like I used to call the Universal cast members the ones that couldn't cut it at Disney.
We have Universal listeners. You can't say that.
But that's changed my tune over the years. That's not like Universal's come a long way. So like
I do like that I do like that the Universal team members don't take shit though.
No.
I feel bad for the cast members at Disney who have to hold their tongue. But
yes,
it seems like I like that Universal seems to give them a lot more freedom, because I've seen team members like get in it with a guest and still see them months later when I go to visit. So
no, for sure, and I feel like it's tough retaining the talent these days just because parkers.
Yeah. What I've witnessed, there's a lot of entitled people.
Correct.
Who?
Well, while we're on this topic,
yes, that's a very good derail. I would love to hear about your story from your trip recently, Jerry.
Oh man, so listen here. This is like, I don't have opinions on a lot of. That's a lie. If you ask, I have opinions on everything. But this particular situation, I've never seen this in my entire life. All right, so I'm at the park with my wife, my kids, my sister-in-law. We're standing in line at Winnie the Pooh in Magic Kingdom. And so the family in front of us, so there's a bunch of things that went wrong with this family, okay? Like, we're standing in line, it was about maybe 45-minute wait. So we get in line, about 10 minutes go by. Like, as you know, the Winnie the Pooh inside the line, like, there's, like, areas where the kids can go play and stuff like that. Cool. They had 2 young kids and an older kid. One of their young kids was just, like, super rambunctious, like just running up and down the line, going to play, which is fine. You're excited. Could be your first trip. No idea. That's fine. But then it got to a point where like he was just like shouldering through people and like not even apologizing, and his family were noticing these behaviors and not even addressing it. Like
didn't even care.
Didn't even care. Like, and we're just like, now I'm starting to get aggravated because now my wife's holding a newborn baby and she's being like shouldered every 3 seconds, So I'm like,
you're gonna fight the kid
again? Maybe, literally, yeah. Whoops, tripped him. So I kept my composure. It was fine, whatever. Like maybe he's having a great day. This is his first time here. Maybe, who knows, right? About 10 more minutes goes by. This is where it gets real good. So we're standing there, and then the kid again comes by, runs to his mother. No problem. All of a sudden, this kid just goes right into the next to inside the line, like one of the poles, and just starts peeing on it. Like goes like pulls his pants down, and starts peeing. I'm just like shocked. I'm like,
no words.
I get like this kid's young enough to maybe not potty trained, don't know, but like or in the process, sure. But like we looked at the parents and like we were in like shock. The mother acknowledges it, walks over to the kid, doesn't say like stop or like we don't need to be doing this in public. She puts her leg up to block him, to let him finish.
No, without like, I don't advocate for like don't beat your kid, but like that would have been what's wrong with you kind of
like are you kidding? Like now, kind of going back to my point why you can't retain cast members, because guess who has to clean that?
Exactly.
It's like, or not even just clean that. Kids go over there and play because it wasn't like it was like behind a bush. It was literally in the middle of a line.
Well. That the mother probably didn't tell the cast member, so it would have had to been another family would have to tell the cast member. Otherwise, it would sit there.
So, like, mother didn't even pay any mind to it. She just waved everyone through. I'm not even joking. Just waved us through to pass them.
You know what that is? That's Six Flags behavior.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, that is ridiculous. And then like we let it go. I'm like, it is what it is at that point. And then because they still had some of their party in front of them, they finally caught up in line. And then the dad comes back. They had like 7 ice cream that they were starting to eat, right? So we're about to take the last turn before we're about to get like head counted to get on the ride. So they finish up eating all their stuff with all their trash. You know what they did with it?
Throw it on the ground?
Just tossed it on the ground on the side. Like it was like nothing. It's just like
so entitled. Like
really?
Oh.
Really? And it's like at that point I'm just like, and you wonder why, like Disney has a hard time with like people are saying like the magic isn't, people are saying the magic isn't there anymore. I'm like, I don't blame the cast members for not wanting to deal with that. It's like
I don't
That's
think
ridiculous.
I do think like I don't want to get yelled at. The magic isn't the same as it was.
Sure, it's still there,
but
it's definitely
it's
still
not
necessary.
While it's a lot on Disney taking like little things away and whatnot.
Sure.
I mean, the cast members do their best, but it's really the guests that are taking the magic away.
That's what I'm saying. It's like their entitlement, and then and I don't blame the cast members for not wanting to deal with that kind of behavior, And
it's the mentality that I paid $500 a ticket to be here, so you have to deal with me because apparently that person also didn't pay $500 a ticket.
Correct. And it's like what? And it's like not trying to parent somebody else's child, But it's like, what are you teaching your kid that that's okay? Like, if I were to go and do that, I can get arrested.
You'll be on Walt Disney World News today in about 3 months when they release the body cam footage.
Exactly. So like, what are you teaching your kids, man? It's like, I'm not, again, you're a parent, you do you, but your kids, but like, to see that.
I mean, what did Winnie the Pooh ever do to that kid, man?
So true. Talking about marking your territory, he'll be there for the rest of his life, I guess.
I mean,
until next rainstorm.
Oh man. Well, I guess since we're talking about territory, let's talk about another territory that was replaced.
Yes.
What's on your list?
I was going to go with Guardians with the one and only Ellen.
Let's see the unit. So I actually don't hate that change.
I know. There's some people who do, but like, not me.
When you're comparing a ride to a ride,
correct,
in that specific like guide, like if you're thinking like nostalgia to this, then yeah, I can see you being upset. But if you're comparing a ride to a ride, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is miles ahead of the Universe of Energy. And there's no argument you can say about
light years away. I would say light years away.
Between that is, I mean, when I went to see Bob Gurr, the Imagineer, who basically, if anything has wheels on it, he designed it. He said that Guardians of the Galaxy is the best ride that Disney has put out in years.
Yep, and couldn't be more right. Almost wrong. Not wrong.
No, I was gonna. Right. You were about to be fired, but I mean,
well, choke me through the camera.
He was talking about from a ride standpoint, like a ride system standpoint, and a theming standpoint. Like, just he said it was a very simple ride where you would think it would be complex, but the mechanisms are simple. It's very efficient. But if you look at Ellen, which as fun as it was a 20-minute long ride. I actually think it was longer than that.
I thought they was boring. I don't even know why.
I mean, I guess if you do it more than once, it can be boring. But for the first time,
well, yeah, because like you had like how it like took you through because you were sitting in the what do you call it?
In like the moving seats. I don't know.
Yeah, like,
at first you
exactly how it was.
You didn't know you were going to start moving until you. Unless you've been on it before.
Exactly. Yeah. So like the first time, sure, but like after that, it was just like.
I mean the animatronics, the dinosaurs, those were cool.
Yeah.
They were cool aspects. But a fun fact that I hope that everyone knows by now, but if you don't, when you're going up the lift hill into Guardians of the Galaxy and you hear the guitar riff, that is actually a rendition of the theme song from Universe of Energy.
I actually did not know that.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that. That's
it's a little
cool.
Easter egg they put in. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Because originally it wasn't going to have an IP. Like I guess they wanted to do a ride just centered around the Big Bang.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they decided to do the Guardians IP with it. But I guess they had this idea for a while where it was just going to be like about the Big Bang, be educational. But then they switched Epcot into what it is now.
Yeah.
Put Moana in there. Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I like how they made it fit because I was kind of questioning how does Guardians of the Galaxy fit into Epcot. Because to me that would belong over at. I mean, I want to say belong, but I thought they were going to put it into Hollywood Studios and retheme our Hollywood Tower of Terror, and make like a Guardians Land.
If you recall in Guardians movies, he mentions Epcot being there with his father.
Exactly. What I was going to say was, like, I thought that they were going to put it in Hollywood Studios, like when I heard the rumors first. but I think it fits nicely with the Wonders of Zen, like that it's a pavilion.
No,
That
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
that we are like it's not it's like intergalactic showcase.
Sure.
If
No, I
to
think
put
it
it like
fits
that.
like when they first announced it, I was like head scratcher too. I'm like, Epcot Guardians, like how's that even work? But,
Right.
like, now seeing how it came to life, like I like it.
Now, I wouldn't be opposed, Disney, if you took out your abandoned Wonders of Life Pavilion. I think that's what it is, right? That was the old Wonders of Life Pavilion.
I believe so. Yep.
And built the Mission Breakout next to it.
Yes.
I would be very happy.
That's
what I want for Christmas, Disney.
That would be so cool.
Even if you like,
hopefully you're not listening, but then they take away Tower of Terror.
No, do not take away Tower of Terror because then we'll be fighting. I don't feel like
all they heard was Josh said take away Tower of Terror. Is what they just heard.
No, don't touch Tower of Terror. I actually think that I did remember hearing rumors that they were going to, and then everyone's getting up in arms like you can't touch our Tower of Terror. Yep. I was like, I agree because we have it's such a innovative ride. Yep. Like I don't know how it's a real elevator. It's not like it's a ride vehicle.
Exactly.
Like they actually built ours to be a real elevator. They contracted elevator companies. If you haven't, you should check it out. Not the Imagineering story. Behind the Attraction.
Yeah, Behind the Attraction. I watched that on Disney Plus.
Yeah, on Disney Plus. Yeah. To learn how they come up with the ideas for that, it was really, and all the different ones in the different parks. It's a really cool watch.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, back to Guardians of the Galaxy and Ellen. I do think that was a good change.
I agree.
I agree. I guess since we're on the topic of Epcot, we should head to the World Showcase, start in Mexico, make our way to Norway, and talk about Maelstrom and Frozen Ever After.
Oh man, this is a tough one because they're both so good. I should say because I think Frozen was I think they did a good job with Frozen in my opinion.
I think so. I want to say I believe that they started working on this right before the movie even came out, so they were banking on this movie being phenomenal when they closed Maelstrom, and I think that that's what really pissed people off in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like Frozen, but I also like Maelstrom. But I'm sad that they took out the going outside part. Yeah. I feel like they could have kept that.
I agree. Yep. I absolutely agree, and I feel too sure Frozen is Norway and stuff like don't get me wrong, but their true history is, let's be real, it's Vikings. It's that's what was there before was their true history, so it's
and I get it because now it's a super popular ride. You're selling a ton of lightning lanes for it, so in Disney's mind that gamble paid off. But
I don't hate it.
I'm not going to say I don't hate it. I'm not. It is. That's why I brought it up because it is a tough one.
Yep. You
did take out the Viking representation.
Yep.
Somewhat. I mean, you still have some aspects.
You still have some of it.
Yeah.
But still, it's
But in terms of.
School bread, that's all that matters.
They're raising the price of that school bread, though.
Don't remind me.
But I'm going to put a call to action. When this episode comes out and you're hearing this, give us your opinion on the Maelstrom and Frozen Ever After change in the comments. Because for both me and Jerry, it's like an even split.
Yep.
I think either way Disney would have went, I think we would have been happy.
Yep, I agree.
But I want to hear from you.
That's definitely one of the ones where it's I'm not mad, but I'm not happy. It's a tough call to see which side I sit on that one because I think they did a great job with how they both were and is. And I should say.
I want to say that it's due for a pretty major refurbishment, right? When did Frozen?
I think it was 20.
It was 2016, so it's 8 years old.
Holy, sorry, 20. Oh, wow. Wow, literally that long ago it came out?
It opened June 21st, 2016. And
Wow.
it took 2 years to build. So it took 2 years because Maelstrom closed in 2014.
Wow. That's crazy.
So
I did not realize it's been that long.
I heard that it's due for a major refurbishment where they're going to replace the animatronics.
Oh, no.
And put the more reliable ones that they have for the Frozen ride and one of the overseas parks. I'm totally blanking on the name. It's where they just built the whole Frozen land. Is it Shanghai or is it Tokyo?
I think it's
maybe it's Tokyo. Frozen Land.
That's Tokyo.
World of Frozen, Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo. I was gonna say it's
it's in Hong Kong Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea.
Oh.
I don't keep up on my overseas parks. I should, but I heard a rumor that they're planning a big refurbishment of Frozen Ever After.
Interesting.
To replace the animatronics.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because how many times have we seen the animatronics down or the ride down just because of the animatronics? Yeah. I remember that was a huge issue when it first opened because everyone was like, it took you 2 years to build this and everyone's getting evacuated off of it.
Yep. Well, isn't that part of the reason why they came out with they did the CGI for the faces for the animatronics?
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Was the CG those faces?
Yep.
Because I guess you have two different components now. You have a computer screen that has to keep the face, and then you have the mechanical components to make it move. So, and the they did that with the Buzz Lightyear animatronic in Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And I don't know. For me, if you're looking at animatronics and you look at Universal's animatronics that they just released for Dark Universe, the Monsters Unchained ride, and you look at animatronics that Disney's been putting out, it's almost like they flip-flopped in terms of innovation.
Agreed.
It kind of sucks, but
agreed.
It is what it is.
Well, that's why like I said a little while ago, that's why I took away my stance on Universal cast members or people who couldn't cut it at Disney. They changed my stance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now I think we should take Elsa and fly over to Magic Kingdom and talk about the replacement of Toontown with the Storybook with the expansion of New Fantasyland and Storybook Circus.
Yep.
I mean, personally, for me, I don't think I spent any time back there in the Big Top Circus or whatever Storybook Circus.
Me either.
I mean, as I spent a ton of time in Toontown.
Yep. Yeah, as I say, Toontown definitely. I think it's a little disappointing that they took that out,
especially since they put Mickey's Runaway Railway in Toontown at Disneyland.
Well, that's what I was just about to
say. You could have put it in Toontown at Magic Kingdom.
They revamped it in Disneyland too. So it's like, come on, what are you doing? Like Disneyland, genius idea for Runaway Railway. Genius.
Personally, I don't think any single person asked for Storybook Circus to be expanded, and I don't think anybody asked for 2 Dumbos. Nope. I don't think I mean, I do like some the aspects of New Fantasyland. I mean, having Ariel there is better than an abandoned. Having Ariel there is better than an abandoned 22,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride. Yeah. Although I did drive the one in Disneyland, and it was pretty cool. Although it was terrifying to be I was getting claustrophobic in there, but it was still a pretty cool experience. But I mean, I get some aspects. I would say anything beyond Storybook Circus kind of fit. I like it.
Yep.
Gaston's, Ariel, Big Top Treats, Mine Train. Those are good. That's a good expansion. But I think Storybook Circus is kind of half-assed. To put it in easy terms.
To put it lightly, that's not a inaccurate statement.
I think that's been the MO with Disney in their expansions, in their one half of an expansion will be awesome, and then you can see where they kind of ran out of money and innovation. Like personally, I think that Toy Story Land lacks.
Me too.
I mean, I think that Toy Story Land deserves so much more than what it got.
Agreed.
And there's no shade whatsoever.
No shade. There's nowhere like really shops for like there's like few stands and stuff like that, but like they could have done so much more. Pizza Planet, come on!
I know. Well, we did it. We used to have a Pizza Planet.
We used to. I get
and now it's Pizza Rizzo.
Come on! I know, but it's like, come on, missed opportunity. You have Toy Story Land.
I've always said I wish that they would actually rebuild Pizza, like build a new Pizza Planet. Because then it's actually Toy Story Land.
Yes.
For them to raise the prices on Rhodey's Roundup, Rodeo Barbecue, I get it's barbecue, but to have the quick service, but to have like a middle ground pizza shop would be pretty cool. With with the arcade and everything, it would be genius. I question the things that they do sometimes.
Yep.
Or let me say, I question the things that I know they can do that they don't do.
Yep, I agree. And this will be controversial too. Not a huge fan of Slinky Dog.
Okay, I was gonna say I think it's lacking.
It's cool.
I get it's supposed to be a family coaster.
Yep.
But I don't know. I felt very underwhelmed on it.
Me too.
Because I feel like it was hyped up to be way more than it was.
Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if it's like a under 20-minute wait, I'm going to go on it. But
I wouldn't wait anything more than that.
Nope. It's not my time.
And I get it's kids. I get from a kid's point of view, it's probably the coolest ride ever.
Sure. I get it.
But it's not marketed as a kid's coaster. It's marketed as a family coaster.
But you think about it this way, too. It's like Toy Story, sure, it revolves around kids. When did it come out?
Exactly.
I was a kid.
Well, exactly. Why do you think they're making that new freaking trilogy that they come up with?
Yep, exactly. So it's like... So I see the argument, but also I see the argument of, that's my childhood.
I thought Toy Story 3 was the perfect way to end the series.
Yep.
They left
us. I'm not saying that these new ones aren't good. I'm not saying that, but
Bonnie's no Andy.
Nope, sure not. But I'm not hating on Toy Story. They did. I think the theming is really cool. How they did it.
I just wish that we got more.
Yes.
And they're gonna be like, "Oh, Disney." Someone's gonna be like, "Disney adults are they're never happy. They want more and more." I'm like, "Yeah, I want more. Look how much I'm paying."
Look like we're paying to get in. It's like, here we go with that entitlement here.
Can't win, just can't win. But seriously, think about what your ticket costs and the value you're getting from the parks. Now I want you to add on the $400 in your Premier Pass and tell me, was it worth it for your ticket stay, your deluxe hotel stay, and your Premier Pass purchase? Was the value in the parks worth it?
At that point, I'm still in the VIP tour. At that point.
Well, you're right. Because someone's like, well, you can't compare that. I'm like, but I can compare the cost of paying for a deluxe hotel per night to purchase the Premier passes. And at that point, it's not that far off. If you have a group of 10 people, or say you have a family of 7, and you bring 3 more people in, right? The cost isn't that much off when you have a hotel and the Premier purchase.
It's not.
Considering that, unless you're really staying at Saratoga or Old Key West, you're looking at $600 to $800 a night on the deluxe hotels, and then so if you stay at Pop Century or something, you're saving money there that you could put towards a VIP tour. So it's not that far off.
And we're not even really derailing here because we're talking about things that used to be existed and were changed. So here we go. The old
Fast Passes. Yep.
So here we go. See, so
the second that Disney knew that people would pay for Lightning Lanes and Genie Plus was the second that we knew that they will never bring Fast Passes for free back.
Let's be real. So Disney always knew that people would pay for it. They had the prime opportunity when COVID happened and they shut down. They were able to revamp things. That
Which
was
I think that's what leaves a
prime
sour taste in my mouth the most.
Yep.
Is when people are hurting and people are struggling. That's when Disney decided to start cash grabbing everybody.
We got it. Yep.
Now, say if it went back to normal, let's say for 4 years. So let's say 2020 when they reopened. Yeah, when they reopened.
Yep.
Let's say they reopened exactly the same. And then now they announced that free fast passes are becoming this. I think that a lot less people would be upset.
I agree. Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying like the economy is still the same, but I'm just thinking like
sure. I agree.
It's just it would leave less of a sour taste.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
Because I'm sure I would be pissed. I'm sure a lot of people would be pissed, but not as much as when
they took like from a business standpoint. Like I get like to say because like they use COVID to be able to like think about it. You know, before COVID happened, Disney was busier than ever in 2019. Like Disney was crazy busy, but like you know they had the free fast pass system then, and they knew they probably could make money off of it. They didn't know when they were going to make their change. But what Disney was really trying to get away from, because again trying to cut costs, not being able to have your luggage picked up from the airport.
Right.
I think they've always been trying to get away with trying to do that, and then 2020 happens, and they're like, "This is the perfect opportunity to switch it." You know, like this is
I always thought it was funny that they were like, "Free fast passes aren't returning, park hopping is not returning, Magical Express isn't returning." Like they kept using the word "isn't returning" instead of saying the service has been cut.
Correct. Yep.
Like as a pass holder, I think it's stupid that I still have to make park reservations.
Oh, don't even get me started with that. Why does it matter?
I mean, I don't. To me, I get. Well, what if the park gets to capacity? Then the park gets to capacity, and I go to a different one.
That's it. Well, it's like how it was in the past, though. You know, it's like you would arrive at the park. If it was at capacity, they weren't letting you in.
And
you know? So it's like
my theory, and I wouldn't say it's just my theory alone, is that they don't have enough staff.
Correct.
And so they use the reservation and the date-based ticket system to determine how many staff they need for that day.
Correct. Yeah.
Also, from that standpoint, they want to control their payroll.
You got it.
Because personally, and I know from hearing from a lot of cast members that a lot of cast members struggle to live based on what they're paying. In my opinion, I think Disney should be, if they're going to raise our prices, they should be raising the salaries of cast members.
Correct. Yep, I agree. Agreed.
Those are the changes that should be, like, I just feel like they raise prices, but they don't take care of their own. They don't add value.
Not like they used to anyways.
Right. Like, look at Disney charging. I'm trying to do like a comparison where I can actually compare Universal to Disney. Like, sure, Universal gives you free deluxe passes, or express passes with the resort.
Yeah.
But they have a lot less rooms.
Correct.
Than all the deluxe. So, but with that argument, Disney could reclassify resorts.
Correct. Yep.
So you could have like Deluxe Plus or like Universal Signature Deluxe and
like back in the I don't think this argument is anywhere near logic anymore, but like Disney's like view of why they didn't do that base system that like Universal does is because the demand was there more for Disney than it was Universal. So like I saw that argument beforehand, but Universal now, to me,
it's busy.
I think they're above Disney. I mean, in my opinion.
I get the parks are like, or they feel smaller. But as a person who goes to the theme parks all the time, I can tell you that Universal is a heck of a lot more crowded than Disney is.
Well, and
then that's the argument.
4 years ago, on a busy day, the longest wait you'd wait at Universal is 45 minutes.
Right.
Now it's like 3 hours.
And then
it's
like the Disney diehards are like, but it doesn't matter. That's why Disney's raising their prices. Disney's raising their prices because the attendance down and they need to make up for it. But the thing is, Disney doesn't have to make up for that because the parks alone bring in most of their cash flow. So if they stop making shitty movies and they stop making all these crappy shows, that I'm not talking about the ones that just came out. Don't come at me for Agatha. But I'm like, if you look at the Acolyte, like, look how everyone hated that. Sure, you had like some people who were like, "This is the best Star Wars show ever made," but let's be real, it wasn't. And I'm not talking because it has woke or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about from a film from a film standpoint, from a production, it wasn't that good. So they're funneling all the money from the parks into their movies, and when the movie doesn't do well, they have to take the money from the parks to make up the debt on the movies. And that's why I personally think that Disney should sell the parks, or because clearly they care about their streaming and their movies.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they do. As I call him, Bob Paycheck. I think he ruined that for Disney.
Well, I think, yeah,
I think there's a lot of, like, from what I was reading, there's a lot of, like, cover up and misinformation that he was reporting off of Disney Plus. And that it was nowhere doing as well as it was predicting to do, and it was costing Disney billions.
Well, the way I look at this is when I first paid for Disney Plus, I could pay for 3 years for $140. I got like the club, whatever, the D3 offer. I did that.
Yep.
And then when it was time to renew, it was like $70 for the year. It's like, all right, I can swing that for a year. That's not too bad. And then the next year, they wanted to go from that to $150 for 1 year of streaming. And I was like,
it's $16.99 a month?
I canceled it.
Yep. I think it's $16.99 a month.
There was no way I could justify paying for Disney Plus when it's just not having an influx of shows going on there or movies or any, like.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
Totally derailed the podcast episode, but.
That's okay. That I felt like derail for the episode.
I mean, I felt like as much as here's my thing. Just because I love Disney doesn't mean that I have to agree with every single thing they do. And I think that is a problem with a lot of creators. They're so, and large influencers who are so caught up on being on Disney's good side and being invited by Disney to things. If a brand won't invite you somewhere or they won't put you on a list because you criticize them, then that brand doesn't deserve. You don't want to work with that brand.
Yep. Well, if you think about it too, from a business standpoint, criticism is what makes you grow.
Right.
So it's like if you have 100 people and 99 of them are saying they're praising it, guess what? Nothing will ever change. Because if one person's unhappy, they're just saying it's that person. So it's like
I made a Threads post. And I said that I didn't think it was time for Disney to raise prices. I didn't think that now is the time to raise annual passes. I didn't think that it was time to raise food prices because of what value is being taken away.
Correct.
You're closing Big Thunder Mountain for a year in January. You're most likely going to be closing Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island next, if not later this year, by the first quarter next year. You're losing an entire section of Animal Kingdom, and you're probably going
to say that.
And you're probably going to close at some point next year a part of Hollywood Studios to begin construction on Monstropolis.
You got it.
So all I said was I didn't think it was the time to increase prices, and that I probably would still be renewing my pass because my price didn't go up for renewal. And someone was like, well, then don't go. There's more for us. And I was like, but I didn't say, I literally just said I'm still going to renew my pass. I just didn't think it was time for Disney to
raise the price.
And that's when I said, just because it's Disney and I love them doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything they do. And I think that's a problem with the Disney community. I'm going to talk about creators. Like I'm talking about Disney people in general. Is Disney can do no wrong. There's always going to be someone who will defend Disney to its core, to their core.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but no one should have that much loyalty to a corporation who doesn't give a crap about you.
Correct. All they care about is their profit margins.
Because to them, you're a dollar sign. The second you scan into the park, you're a dollar sign. They're looking at you to see how much you're going to spend on that spring roll. Probably 10 of them. How many popcorns are you going to buy? How many lightning lanes did you buy? You are a dollar sign to them on their statistics. They don't look at their daily statistics and say, oh, Johnny is going to Spaceship Earth and he didn't pay for it. Like, they're looking at $1 and $2.
well, you know for sure when I scan in, they're like, how many spring rolls and chocolate coffees am I going to get out of Jerry today?
But I'm not trying to criticize anyone, and I'm not trying to be controversial. All I'm saying is, just because it's Disney
Keeping it real.
doesn't mean you have to defend them.
You got
You're
it.
allowed to say, I don't agree with that.
Yep, I agree. Couldn't agree more.
And
honestly,
I think,
because
and I'm not going to get political, but I think that's a problem with this country is no one is allowed to have a separate thought.
correct.
Then no one's allowed to have a different thought. The second you have a different thought than someone else, then it gets crazy.
It gets crazy. Yep. No, if you don't agree with somebody, then people just like turn their backs, and it's like, what happened to being able to share an opinion and still move on from it? You know,
Exactly.
It's healthy to think differently. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean that's couldn't put it any better. Now to get back on track, let's talk about if you're still listening after my rant. I want to. We'll end on this last one.
Oh, I'm calling Josh the Scrooge though for right now because he's got the Christmas hat on and he's on the biggest rant. Right?
It's November 1st. It's
on.
Christmas time. I have to wear it. Okay. Disney Quest NBA experience.
See, listen here. I was pumped for the NBA experience. Okay,
I think a lot of people were.
Guy. It came out at the wrong time.
I mean, to see them demolish Disney Quest from the outside in was crazy.
But
I think that's what hurt.
No, I agree. I think the NBA experience could have been elsewhere.
I agree. I think they could have built something like that. Like, I know that no one's really going to make the trek out there, but no one was going to make the trek to Disney Springs just for NBA. So the people that were going to do that, if you put it worldwide of sports, people would have made the trek over there to do that. Like, I know that there was some hype around it, but the NBA experience, I just feel like it didn't really belong there.
No,
like I don't want to say like it's stupid that it was NBA. It was just a very random choice in my opinion.
It was random. Like it was like, trust me, it was cool. Like, again, I'm a big sports guy. Basketball, like I was pumped for it, you know. But like super random. Like why there? You know, like I still don't understand that. Like you put how much money into it for that to work out?
Well, you demolished a building and you built the building. Like that's not cheap. And now it's the Harry Styles. Like that's what like. Think about it now. It has a restaurant and it has Harry Styles pop up.
Literally.
That's quite the difference from Disney Quest.
They were like, we got messed up.
I mean, I guess we could talk about the whole change from downtown Disney to Disney Springs as a whole. Because it really went from kind of that like nightlife area to go after the parks to just a shopping plot, like your run of the mill town center.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still fun. There's a lot of stuff to do. I don't mind walking. Like, I like the food. I like the atmosphere. I like that I could take the boat from there to get beignets from Port Orleans.
Absolutely.
But it is, when we're talking about different things, it is quite the difference.
It definitely is. It for sure is. It's what I would say like tripled in size.
Yeah.
For a first point.
And it's gotten, like a lot of things in our society, it's gotten dull.
Yes.
Like, think about 90s, 2000s Disney, where you had Planet Hollywood was this big blue sphere. You had all these cool Legos everywhere. The colors were different. And now it's more industrial and dull.
You got it. Yep. It's more modern, if you will. Like they're trying to like keep up with like the surrounding area, like of like the modernization of Florida, if that makes sense. You know, so like.
Which I get it. I guess
please everybody.
I guess like as a kid who grew up in the early 2000s, it's hard because I witnessed the flip. Like I was talking to Katie, our friend Katie. I was telling her on that I grew up half with no technology and half with technology and social media. Like so I kind of had like I had the switch.
Yep. I agree.
I remember getting my first iPod. I was like, "Whoa, how do I use this?"
Oh man, the iPod Nanos. There we go.
The iPod Nano, the iPod Classic.
Minis. Yeah, the classics. I remember the first ever one, the big, thick, square one.
I think I have one of those, actually. Gary, you keep talking to them.
Okay. So we were just talking about iPods, but yeah, the big, thick one. I remember back in the day when those first came out, too. I think it held, like, maybe 50 songs, and we thought that was, like, the best thing ever, for space-wise. And now here we are with cell phones that hold, what, 200 gigabytes? Some of them, sometimes more. But no, to Josh's point, though, it's like, I personally love Disney Springs. I enjoy going there. I always have a good time going there. I think they did a good job with bringing the life of, like, different food aspects of restaurants, different kinds of forms of entertainment. But I also do think they've kind of gotten away with making it feel like a strip mall, if that makes sense. I do feel, me personally, that I'll continue to go to Disney Springs. I don't have any blemishes with Disney Springs, but I definitely get Josh's point, and I do feel that they took away from what downtown Disney used to be. Kind of like what downtown Disney is in Disneyland, because they still have that kind of a feel,
for now,
for the most part. For now, because it's under refurbishment now too. But again, I think you made it really like a good. Oh, he went to go get it.
Told you.
That scratch.
See?
I don't know if you could still hear when you walked away, but I was like, I remember when those first came out, they could hold like 50 songs, and we thought that was like the biggest thing ever.
I believe this one can hold like it's 80 gigabytes, so like that was like 1,000 songs. Like that was the crap on an iPod, and now look at it.
That was like
it's like
that was it back in the day. Jeez,
like this is awesome. Your iPhone is your iPod now.
Yep. Well, it's crazy though, but those things were like tanks though. Do you know how many times I washed mine in like the washer?
I mean, if I could find the charger for this, I bet you it would power on.
No, absolutely. They don't make things like that anymore.
No. I mean, I remember when they announced that it has a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
But it still works.
But still though, bet it's worth something.
Probably.
It's retro.
It is retro, but think this was what I grew up with, and then this is what I have now. It was like I had the flip.
Crazy. But like I always go back to like when I was in like grade school, and they're like made us do like our like math problems out by hand. You'll never have a calculator in your pocket.
Who's laughing now?
Who's laughing now, people? All right. I got a flashlight. I got a phone. I
could be like, "Hey Siri, what's 5 plus 5?"
Literally.
10.
Who's laughing now? Crazy. But that good point to Disney Springs, though. I wouldn't even thought of that, honestly.
Because that's not just like a ride or a land. Like that is a whole change.
Yeah.
Granted, it was in phases.
Sure.
Different things close, but even look at World of Disney. If you look at pictures of World of Disney from the early 2000s, you look at the pictures of the interior now, it's completely different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mind-boggling to think like the change.
Well, I remember when World of Disney reopened. It was what, 2019? I think it was, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was closed for a while.
For like a year or two, if I remember correctly, from when they revamped it. I'm pretty sure it was 2019.
I think you're right. I can't find it. It's not popping up. But yes.
Pretty positive it's 2019, somewhere around there. 2018, 2019, somewhere around there.
Yeah. But it went from all that nostalgia to the inside. It's like a factory, almost like an industrial factory.
Yeah.
It's very sleek and modern inside.
Yeah.
It's more room to walk around. Yeah. I would say less theming. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's what I meant. Like, there's more. They made it so that it would fit more people.
Yeah. Because more people means more money.
Yes. And just like I said, you're a dollar sign. So the more people that's inside of World Disney, the more dollar signs that pop up on their reports.
You got it.
But I mean, I know I crapped on Disney because I was mad and I had to get it out. But it's not just Disney that raises prices. So don't think that like I could go to Publix and their soup is $5 more than the soup at Walmart.
Don't even get me started with the movie industry of how much they've gone up. You know,
As a former movie theater employee, that's like whole episode. on itself.
Yes.
Like I don't want to like.
I'm a huge
I was about to end the
movie
episode, but we once did the math on the profit margin for a bag of popcorn, and
crazy.
it was like I think we came up with like 2,000% profit margin on popcorn itself.
That's pretty close. Yeah, I was say between 2,000% and 3,000%.
Because
like that,
I used to place the orders, and the bags were like the bags of popcorn seed, like the 25-pound bags. I think they were less than $5 a bag. And then the oil boxes,
not even per bag for like 1,000 of them.
Yeah, it was like,
so like
I mean, you had per that bag of seed, you could probably make
correct
100.
You
probably like 100 batches of popcorn.
About something like that. They're what 30-pound bags.
And that doesn't include the coconut oil that we use to pop the popcorn in the 5-gallon bags. That's like that's like 500. That's like I would say that's between 250 and 500 batches of popcorn right there.
Even more profit is the soda.
Yes. Well, unless you have the freestyle machines.
Yeah, the freestyle machines not so much because people are wasting. But back in the day when I worked before the freestyle machines,
because you could
doing it,
you could buy those the 5-gallon bibs weren't expensive, but those cartridges for the stupid
those are
freestyle machines are expensive because they're so concentrated.
Yep.
But it just goes like the popcorn. Like I can bring this right back to Disney. The popcorn that you're buying for $6, which puts movie theaters to shame because at least you get a bigger popcorn for $6 at a movie theater. Yeah. The profit on Disney's popcorn is probably in the 5,000% range.
Unreal what they're paying pennies to make it. Pennies.
It honestly probably costs them 25 cents to make the popcorn just because of the packaging, and that it's probably a penny to make it, and it's probably 24 cents for the pack. Like that's on like the liberal side. The conservative side.
I would say that's probably a stretch there.
But
honestly,
they're probably making 5,000% profit on each popcorn you buy.
Yep.
Even with the popcorn buckets, the refills are $2.25 or something like that, right? Yep. That's still a huge profit for them, which is why they don't care charging you that.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And don't get me started on the pretzels. But it's time for final thoughts.
Yes, final thoughts.
Kind of just I don't want to recap everything we just talked about. So for final thoughts today, Jerry has an announcement I think he would like everybody to know about.
Yes. My baby girl was officially born. We are now a household of 4.
How exciting, right?
No, it's been great.
We have a new member of the ITP family.
No, absolutely. And feels good to get back into routine. Yeah, it's nice for those. For the viewers' sake, we haven't been gone, but for the making of sake,
we had prepared for this. All our episodes were pre-recorded, ready to go for the entire month of October. I think we had 3 episodes that we recorded within 3 weeks just to make sure that we had time for Jerry to be able to get into the swing of things.
And not to put this really random, but for final thoughts too, not to kind of change the subject real quick, because I know this will be out on
next week, November 8th.
November 8th. Just wanted to give a huge shout out to our veterans, because Veterans Day is coming up on that weekend. So thank you so much for your service. Yes. I dedicate a lot to veterans. I come from a veteran household, so without me and Josh couldn't sit here.
We're going to dedicate this entire episode to you.
Yes.
Not that we make a lot of profit from these episodes, if any, but anything that comes from this episode we'll donate to Veterans Affairs.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And make sure you go and get your free stuff from Veterans Day. Go get your free meal at Applebee's.
And if you aren't a veteran, and you see a veteran, make sure you shake their hand and thank them.
And I know love them, hate it, but I'm that guy. If I'm standing in line and I see older gentlemen or anyone gentleman that has it says, Vietnam veteran, doesn't matter what veteran you're wearing, I offer to buy their stuff.
Well,
I would say no, but
the reason,
it is what it is.
While this episode will come out after Election Day, the reason that you were able to vote is because they fought for your freedom.
You got it. Absolutely. Yep.
So with that, I think that's a great thing to end on. You can find us on all social media at @intheparks_pod. And you can find me on all social media at Josh in the Parks.
And you can find me on all social medias at It's a Buzz Life.
And now it's time for you to put your hands up because your lap bars are coming up, and we'll see you next time.